During the 7th anniversary, FGO added 2 major changes to the base gameplay system of the game. It's certainly a surprising choice, especially on the 7th year of the game's lifecycle, but it is, in my opinion, a necessary change that certainly shook up the meta and made a couple of card types just that much stronger than they used to be. First and foremost, they revamped the quick chain, or more specifically, leading with a quick card in a chain. Back in the day, quick chains only give you star generation boosts on the following cards in the chain. And honestly, that is not a great effect, because even if you're able to generate more stars, there's still no guarantee for you to be able to crit on the following turn. So instead of banking on this RNG effect that is also delayed, people might just take the more guaranteed and immediate effect of leading with a buster card, which is more damage, or leading with an arts card, which is more MP gain. However, after the 7th anniversary, now leading your chain with a quick card also gives all of the cards within the chain a 20% extra chance to crit on top of generating extra stars. This helps you out in 2 specifically extreme situations. First of all is if you have no ability to crit, usually happens at round start where you have 0 stars, you can technically try to RNG a 20% crit on any of the cards in your chain if you lead your chain with a quick card, greatly increasing the ceiling of your performance on that turn. On the other hand, it's also great for turns where you have 80% or 90% on some of your cards in terms of their chance to crit, and you lead with a quick card just to make them guaranteed, significantly increasing the floor of your performance on that certain turn. They also slightly buffed the quick chain, which is of course when you chain 3 quick cards in a single chain. Instead of gaining 10 crit stars, now you get 20 crit stars, which is an even bigger amount of star dump, and if your quick servant doesn't have the ability to generate a lot of stars with their MP, this can certainly help with your next turn's crit chance. So overall, this revamp just allows quick to crit even more consistently than it used to. The other major change is of course the addition of the Mighty Chain. The Mighty Chain happens whenever you choose a quick, arts, and buster card at the same time in your chain. The chain bonus that you get is that all the cards within that chain is treated as if you led with a buster card, an arts card, and a quick card all at the same time. So you get the damage boost from the buster, you get the MP gain boost from the arts, and you also gain the star generation boost as well as the 20% crit chance on all of your cards in the chain from the quick. This is an extremely powerful chain that sort of changes your base logic of how you want to chain cards. Back in the day, if you want maximum damage, you lead with a buster card, so all of your other cards get the damage bonus. But now if you're chaining a Mighty Chain, if you want maximum damage, you actually put the buster card last, because your chain is already treated as if it was led by a buster card, regardless of where you actually put that buster card. So now putting that buster card on the final slot means that it gets the optimal amount of effectiveness, which is of course damage. This is the same for quick cards for star generation and MP generation, or of course arts cards for optimal MP generation. You put the effect that you want the most last in the Mighty Chain instead of first in most other chains back in the day. The addition of the Mighty Chain, of course, helps first and foremost your ability to gain bonuses from chaining cards. Back in the day, it's extremely common to get a hand where you're not able to do either a quick, arts, or buster chain, because it's honestly quite rare to get a 3 of a kind of any kind. But now it's extremely difficult for you to not be able to find any of the 3 of a kinds, or one kind of each in a single hand. So you will very likely be able to do either quick buster arts or Mighty Chains every single turn. Mighty Chains are a lot of times actually better than quick or buster chains, because the actual bonus that you get from chaining a 3 buster card buster chain is adding 20% of the attacker's raw attack stat as true damage to each card. So unless it's a very specific gimmick key fight where you can't really break through the special damage resist, this is virtually useless outside of the fact that you are picking 3 of the most powerful attacking cards. As for quick chains, if you're overkilling on star generation within your kit already, gaining 20 extra stars for the next turn doesn't necessarily benefit you a lot. However, I will concede that mighty chains generally are not as good as arts chains because the potential of giving your entire party 20% extra MP gauge is way too powerful. In my opinion, the addition of the mighty chain buffs quick MP units the most, because despite the quick chain revamp that we mentioned earlier, in my opinion, leading with a quick card still kinda suck, mainly because there is a cap to the effectiveness of leading with a quick card. As long as you have enough stars to guarantee crits very consistently, leading with a quick card won't allow you to hit harder with those crits. Leading with a quick card simply gives you a higher chance of critting, which for a lot of the teams, you don't necessarily have an issue with. Contrary to leading with an arts card or a buster card, because you can never really cap on MP generation or damage. But on the other hand, you always want to lead your chain with an MP, because MPs aren't affected by their position in a chain. So putting an MP last in a chain doesn't increase its effectiveness as opposed to putting an MP first in a chain. So now, with the mighty chain added, you can very comfortably lead with your quick MP and not have to give up on your arts and buster card leading bonuses, because the chain would be treated as if it was led by all three card types. Mighty chains also heavily buffs solo servants, especially servants with a quick or buster MP. First and foremost, when you're soloing, you have infinite access to your extra attack. And as I've mentioned earlier, a mighty boosted extra attack is extremely powerful. It generates a lot of stars, generates a lot of MP, and also deals massive amounts of damage. But why did I say specifically for quick and buster MPs? Well, mainly because when you lead with those MPs, you can also select the arts card to include in a mighty chain. So there are a lot of buster MP servants that have very powerful quick and arts cards. And now with a mighty chain, if you lead with a buster MP, you can follow it with a quick and arts card. And those cards would be treated as if the chain was led by an arts card. So they would have an MP gain boost, and also they would have 20% extra chance to crit on them because they will also be treated as if they were led by a quick card. Servants such as King Hassan, Koyan Sky of Light, and Erishkigal, who has very, very powerful arts cards, demonstrate this the best. It's very easy for them to infinitely loop their MP as long as they do the buster, quick, arts, mighty chain, including their MP of course. Quick solo servants are in a similar boat, but obviously they have to omit the quick card for MP gain. But as a trade-off, they get to include the strongest damage dealing card in their mighty chain, which is of course the buster card. But there are some quick servants that don't necessarily like to actually generate MP with their quick card. A very good example is a character such as Lancer Skahak, who notoriously has a bad amount of MP gain on their quick card. And people often make fun of her because if you lead with an arts card, her buster card actually generates more MP because it has more amounts of hits. But now you can utilize this even more effectively, because now you can use a quick MP and follow it with a buster and arts. So obviously the arts card would generate a very decent amount of MP because of the same reasons I mentioned earlier, but also buster cards are able to generate MP as well if you lead the chain with an arts card. And because this is a mighty chain, it is treated as if it was led by an arts card, so your buster card that has a unbalanced amount of high hits could potentially generate you a decent amount of MP. And stars as well, because remember, you also treat the card as if it was led by a quick card. Unfortunately, arts MP DPSs don't really benefit nearly as much from the mighty chain for solos as quick and buster MP units, because most of the times when you're soloing, your main goal is still to loop your MP. And if you want to include an arts MP and also chain a mighty chain, you're unable to select your arts card, which is the most powerful card for generating MP. So in many cases, if you're soloing with an arts MP unit, you would still choose MP arts for optimal MP generation. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I still made it a little bit too long in my opinion, but yeah, this is my basic rundown of the Mighty Chain System edition as well as the Quick Card Chain Revamp. Hope you guys enjoyed, and feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments.